What's up, team? It's Mr. Rator here. Okay, today we're going to do some hidden quadratics, or sometimes called disguise quadratics. So, looking at this, first of all, as you can see, it looks like a quadratic. It looks like it is a cubic function, but it should remind you of a quadratic because what you should notice with a hidden quadratic, the power is double one of the other powers. Okay, so if you got x to the power 1.5, double 1.5 is 3. That's your hint for a hidden quadratic. So let's just, what you could do here to make it a bit more visual. So you could say, let me put the pen first of all. So here we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Let m equal x to the power 1.5. Okay, so if you let that happen, before we start anything, let's just rewrite this. Now you know that from our indices, x to the power 1.5. Now if I double that power, I'll get 3. So that x to the power 3 can be written as x to the power 1.5 with this power outside 2. Okay, so they're going to multiply to give me 3. Okay, then we could write the next one, that's 9. And put x to the power 1.5 there. Okay, that's the same as that, and we got a plus 8, and this is going to equal 0. All right, so now once you got it in that form, you could then sub in the m for x equals 1.5. So here we go, put m in here, and that's going to have a squared minus 9, and replace that x to the power 1.5 with m, and that's going to be plus 8, and that's going to equal 0. Okay, now obviously this is not the only way you could solve this, but this is one of the methods. So as long as you get the answer, happy days. Right, okay, let's get rid of the brackets. We got m squared minus 9m plus 8 equals 0. Now that should be straightforward to factorize. We've done quite a bit of factorizing. If you want to go back and have a look at some of the factorizing videos, you can do factorizing quadratics. But here, the product, how to make 8, is 1 times 8, and they're going to sum together, because that means add, sum together to make 9, but they both got to have the sign minus. So first of all, let's put m in each corner. Then we've got the 8 and the 1 in these corners. They both got to be negative. Now in your head, you should quickly just mentally check m times m is m squared. M times minus 8 is minus 8m, minus 1m. So that's going to give me minus 9m, and minus 1 times minus 8 is going to give me positive 8. Okay, happy days. Let's go. So now either this bracket is going to equal 0 or this bracket is going to 0. So we can say that m can equal 1 or m can equal 8. Now we haven't solved this yet because we only solved for m. We need to go back and put this in. So we need to go back and say, all right, we got x to the power, now x to the power 1.5, I'm going to rewrite that. So here x power 1.5, I'm going to write it as a decimal, so that's x to the power 3 over 2. Okay, you'll see in the second one I'm going to do this. So here I'm going to put this as 3 over 2, that's going to equal 1, and over here I'm going to say x is equal to the power 3 over 2, so it is equal to 8. Now this 3 over 2 just means the opposite of that. If I times it by the opposite, which will be 2 over 3, we'll make that power go to 1. Let's just double check what I'm saying here. So if you look here, this is 3 over 2. If I inverse this by making it the power 2 over 3, that will give me 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6, and you can get x 6 over 6, which is just x to the power 1, which is just x. Okay, so the inverse of that, just to find x, is going to be put to the power 2/3, and I must do that to the other side, put it to the power 2/3, so x will just give me 1. Okay, 1 to any power is 1. Alright, so let's try this one. Do the same thing here to get x, the inverse of that, so basically getting rid of the 2 that's being square rooted, the opposite square root is being squared, so you got the squared there, and this is being cubed, the opposite of being cubed is cube root, so you could see it like that. Okay, so I might do that slightly different just to show you in a second. So basically what I did say here, that's going to give me 8. Now that third means cube root, and the 2 means to square it, so cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. Spot on. Alright, just a quick alternative way. If you don't like that, doing it in one step, you could do it in 2 steps. You could have said, let's just put a line along here. You could have said x is 3 over 2, which equals 8. Same thing, but do it in 2 steps. So what you could do is, this is being cubed. The opposite of cubed is cube root. So you could cube root both sides, which gives me x to the power a half, because I got rid of the 3, the cubing, and cube root of 8 is 2. And now this half means it's being square rooted, and the opposite of square root is squared. So I'm going to square this side and square this side. That's going to give me 2 squared is 4. Okay, as we stated earlier. Alright, let's try some more. Obviously, if you're feeling comfortable, just pause the video, have a go yourself, then press play. Otherwise, continue watching. Alright, here we go. Now, before we do anything, let's just times this out first. Okay, so let's just solve this equation. Let's just multiply everything inside by 9. Now 1 times 9 is 9 plus, now be careful here, 9, I'm going to just put it here, 9 times 9x to the power minus 1. Don't forget 9 by itself is to the power 1. I'm just going to leave this as 10 times 3 to the power x. Just leave that like that. Now, remember when the base is the same, what we do is we add the powers. So now I'm going to add these powers. So I've got x minus 1, add 1, it's just going to give me x. Okay, the minus 1 plus 1 is going to cancel each other. So you're just going to end up with 9 plus 9 to the power x equals 10 times 3 to the power x. So don't worry about that, okay? As I say to my kids, don't fear at all here, you know what I mean? So what you do here is you don't fear here. You're looking at this, it looks complicated, but once we just expand it all out, it starts to drop out nicely. Now, let's just double check what's going on here. Now you got to connect. Now it is hidden quadratic, so you need to spot something here. You got to spot where is the hidden quadratic going to come, where is the power is going to be the same. Now remember here you got a 9 here and you got a 3 there, and they need to connect in some way because they're both to the power x. And how you should click this is you should know that 3 squared is equal to 9. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the 9 by 3 squared. So just rub this out a minute. So in a second I'm going to replace this. When I've got this 9x, I'm going to replace the 9, this 9, by 3 squared. Then the x is out there, and you know that this is the same as 3 to the 2x. And what I'm going to do furthermore, I'm going to then rewrite this as 3 to the x with the 2 outside. Okay, so I'm going to go from, I've done 2 steps. You could go in 1 step, just go straight from there and switch the powers around. But I'm going to go in 2 steps. I showed you 2 steps how to go from there. So let's get back to here. So 9 plus, now this 9x has been replaced. I'm going to replace that with 3x squared. Okay, and that's going to equal 10 times 3x. I'll put brackets around there. Okay, 3 to the power x. Now the reason why I've done that is now I'm going to say again, let m equal 3 to the power x. Okay, so now I should be spotting my quadratic equation. So if I do that, that stays as 9 plus this gets replaced by m, so that becomes m squared. And this is equal to 10 times m, which becomes 10m. Now there we go. There we go. We've got the quadratic equation. And now we're going to bring everything to one side and put it in a quadratic equation form, making it equal to 0. So that's going to give me m squared. Positive 10m goes to the side, becomes a minus 10m. We still got the 9 there, and don't forget that 9, if there's no symbol in front, is positive, so that's plus 9 equals 0. Again, this is not a difficult quadratic to factorize. Just put in the brackets. Okay, equal to 0. And m goes in each corner. So 1 times 9 is 9. Okay, and they both got to be negative, and minus 1 plus minus 9 is going to give me minus 10. So minus 1 and the minus 9. So minus 1 times minus 9 is plus 9, and minus 1 add minus 9 is minus 10. Alright, once we got that, we know it's got to equal 0, so each bracket of here is going to equal 0. So which value of m will make this bracket go to 0? So m must equal 1. Which value of m will make this bracket go to 0? So m could also equal 9. Okay, because 1 put into there, 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times anything will give me 0. And 9, when I put it into here, 9 minus 9 is 0. And 0 times anything will also give me 0. So you get 2. Okay, 2 solutions here. Now we still haven't solved this. We only solved it for m. So now we need to put our x back into action. Okay, so we're going to now replace the m for 3x squared. So I'm going to say 3x, sorry, not 3x squared, 3 to the power x, which is going to equal 1. And we got 3 to the power x, which is going to equal 9. Now you should have to spot this straight away. You should have to spot this straight away. What's going to go? The only way that can go to 1 is to the power of 0. Okay, as you know that 3 to the power 0 will give me 1. So straight away you should have to get this and say, okay, so that's going to be the same as x. This will only happen when x is equal to 0. Likewise, you should spot here that 3 squared is going to give me 9. We've already spotted that before earlier on over here. So in that case, x will equal 2. Now you have solved it. Alright, so yeah, just hidden quadratic or disguised quadratics, or whichever other ways they have come out to. So that's it. That's all how you do these quadratic equations. These hidden quadratics. You put them into a quadratic form equation, solve it as a quadratic, then put in back the original form, what letter you was trying to work out, and then solve it from there. Okay. Right. Another one over here. Okay, what can we say about here? So what is going on here? Let's have a look. What's happening here? So now you got solve the equation 5 to the power x equals 6 minus 5 to the power 1 minus x. Okay, first of all, before we start here, what does this mean? 5 to the power 1 minus x. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that just means that's the same as 5 to the power 1, okay, which is just 5. It's being divided by 5 to the power x. So that's the first one to make sense of this. What is that doing? So that means 5 to the 1, 5 to the power 1 divided by 5 to the power x. Now the reason why that works is divide means you subtract the powers when the base is the same. So this will turn out to be 5 to the power 1 minus x, which is that. Now what we could do here is rewrite this, and 5 is just 5. 5 to the power 1 is just 5. Divide, you could put it over, and you could put that over 5 to the power x. Could put that there. Alright, so that is the same thing. So before we start anything, let's just now rewrite this, and we're going to say 5 to the power x equals 6 minus 5 over 5 to the power x. Now this is another form of hidden quadratics, or disguised quadratics, is when you got one form and the other one is over, okay, it's over that form. So what I'm going to do here is, now I'm going to say, let's just, in this case it would be best to say now straight away, let 5 to the x equal m. Okay, let's do that. Let's just, that will give us, now this, if I'm going to say this, I'm going to use this substitution. That's going to say that, that's going to imply that this is going to equal m. This remains 6 because it's got no association with this 5 to the power x, and this is going to be minus 5 over m. Now when you see something like this, straight away you want to get rid of the fraction. And to get rid of the fraction, you should just simply multiply everything by the denominator, in this case m. So every element gets times by m. So straight away m times m is going to give me m squared. 6 times n is going to give me 6m. Now 5 times m is 5m, divided by m is just going to give me 5. That's the whole reason why we times it, to get rid of that denominator. Okay. Now straight away you can see the hidden quadratic over here. Well, it's not hidden anymore. Okay, so let's just bring everything to one side. So just to save a line, we got m squared here. Now this is positive 6m, take it to the side, becomes a minus 6m. Alright, and the minus 5, chill it to the other side, so opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. Okay, just taking every step in step. If you want to skip some steps at any point, that's no problem. I'm just putting every step just in case there's people out there that need to be shown every step. I always think it's best to show every step, especially in the exam condition. It shows if you ever make mistakes, you can go back quickly, correct them, and it also shows the examiner every step, you know you've done everything, and you get some marks for method. So it's up to you, but you won't get totally penalized for not showing too many, a few little steps. As long as you're showing a few of the steps, that's important. All right, let's just factorize this straight away. This is m in each corner, and that's going to equal 0. Now again, it's a simple quadratic factorization. The way I'm going to make the product of 5 is 1 and 5. 1 and 5 will add to 6, and don't forget they're both going to be negative. So 1 and 5, they're both going to be negatives. That's what it goes there. In your head, you should be quickly saying, okay, m times m is m squared, m times minus 5 is minus 5m, minus 1m. That's going to give me minus 6m, and then minus 1 times 5 is positive 5. So always double check in your head that we're doing it right. And then straight away m equals 1. And in this case, when will this equal 0? When m is equal to 5. Yeah, just take a moment there. So we haven't solved the equation yet because we haven't solved for x. We solved for m, but not for x. Now, we're going to put this back into here, right? So we're going to put this action back in. So m is going to be replaced by 5 to the x, which is equal to 1, and this is going to be 5 to the x, which is going to equal 5. Okay, now you should be able to spot again, when anything like that to the power goes to 1, it's always going to be to the power 0, okay? So just remember, anything to the power 0 equals 1. In this case, 5 to the power 0 is going to equal 1. So just put that in the bracket, therefore x equals 0. And in this case, anything that's going to equal itself when it's to the power, that power must be 1. Okay, we already emphasized something like this here. So remember that. So remember, 5 to the power 1 is just 5. So in this case, x has to equal 1. And now we have solved it for x. Happy days. All right, let's move on. So just break it down step by step. Okay, step by step. We will get there. Do you know what I mean? All right, so here we go. Let's just solve this. And boom, this looks a bit difficult, but when we get to solving it, I'm hoping you're going to look at it and think, actually, it's not too bad. So let's see why it's not too bad. Before we do anything, I'm just going to put brackets in here and realize that this bracket and this bracket is the same. The only difference is this is being squared and this is just to the power of 1 by itself. So straight away, I'm going to say in this case, let m equal x minus 1. Okay. So straight away, I'm going to go for that. Go for the kill straight away. So there we go. That's going to be 3 over m squared, because that bracket inside is m and that's being squared, minus 5 over m equals 2. Alright, so now we got that. And like I said before, when you the hardest thing that most of my students, when they see something like this, they panic because they see fractions. And I mean, you shouldn't worry about too much about that. Okay, I've told them don't worry about the fractions. If it bothers you or it disturbs you, let's just get rid of it. Simple as that. And the simplest way to get rid of any fractions is times it by its denominator. Now I'm going to times everything by this one because it's the one with the biggest power. So I'm going to times everything by m squared. And let's see what happens. If I times that by m squared, times that by m squared, I'm going to multiply this by m squared. Okay, let's see what happens here. So when I times this by m squared, we're going to get 3m squared divided by m squared. The m squares are going to cancel, so that's going to just leave me with 3. Take away. Now be careful here. When I times that by m squared, I'll end up with 5m squared. It's divided by m, so one of the m's are going to cancel with that, so I just end up with 5m here. Alright, and now if I times 2 by m squared, I'll just end up with 2m squared there, and there is the hidden, well, the quadratic that we were saying that was hidden initially here. It just drops out nicely. Now I'm hoping you're all looking at this and thinking, oh, that's straightforward. Now I can do that. So I'm going to bring everything to one side, so that's going to give me 2m squared. Let's just what I'm going to do is let's just do it all to, I think I've got plenty of space. I'm just going to keep this here. I'm going to take this to the other side. The opposite of minus 5m is plus 5m, so I'm going to end up with 2m squared plus 5m, because I've took that to the opposite side by doing the inverse. And likewise, this is a positive 3. Take it to the other side, becomes a negative 3. And that's going to equal to 0. Alright, so now this is our quadratic that we need to solve. Again, it's not a difficult quadratic. I'm just going to solve it in here. I'm going to put 2m in this corner, m in this corner, and then that put the 0 on the other side, so either 0 can equal that and that can equal 0. 6 and 2 3s, so we say. Now the way to make 3 is product is going to be 1 and 3, so I'm going to make a positive 5, so I need to double one of them, so I'm going to double the 6, and then because this is a minus, it's going to be a difference of 5. If I double the 6, take away 1, it's going to give me 5, so I'm going to double the 3, so the 3 goes here and the 1 goes there, and don't forget I'm going to I want the 6 to be positive, so I'm going to have the plus there and this one to be minus. Alright, let's just double check it again in our heads. 2m times m is m squared, 2m times 6 is 6m, positive 6m, minus the 1m here, which is going to give me 5m, positive 5m, and then the minus 1 times a positive 3 is going to give me the negative 3. Alright, so straight away this bracket can equal 0 or this bracket can equal 0, so I'm going to say 2m equals 1, so m must equal half, because if I put half there, double half is 1, 1 take away 1 is 0, 0 times anything will give me 0, or you could have m equals minus 3. Now minus 3 plus 3 is 0, 0 times anything is 0, so there we go. Now we still haven't solved for, still haven't solved this. We solved for m, but we haven't solved for x. So what do? Yeah, you guessed it right. Let's put this back in, the x. So that tells me that x minus 1 is going to give me a half. Take the minus 1 to the other side, so that gives me x is going to equal 1 plus a half is 1 and a half. Okay, so x can equal 1 and a half. Or put that back in here, so put the x's in, so x minus 1 is going to equal minus 3, and minus 3, take it to the side, becomes a plus 3, so x equals minus 3, minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. And there we go, job done. Bish, bosh, bosh. Alright, so let's move on again. Oops, what have we done here? Oops, let's go back. Clicked on a different site, sorry about that. Let's move on. This one. Okay, so what we can do is at the moment we can leave the video at here. We don't want to make it too big, and the other slide I'll do is a few more questions. You can click on the other side if you want to see some more complex hidden quadratics. Okay.